Hi, I'm Joe Gunn, owner of Whidbey Pies. Today we're with my mother, the founder of Whidbey Pies, and we're going to be making a peach pie with peach-orama peaches. Great crust is crucial to great pie. My mother is going to show us her secrets.
We'll get these out of the way and make some room for pastry. All right, we have flour. Pastry flour is the best for making pie crust. Butter already cubed and ready to go. Coconut oil and ice water, essential. So we start off with the flour. Put it in and some salt. And then we add the butter cubes, little by little. And it's essential to have the fat, the butter, and the oil as cold as can be, even frozen sometimes. Because that way, when you combine it with the flour, leaves tiny crystals that melt in the baking process. And that's really the secret to great pie dough. So there we are, butter, oil, hard oil, cold oil, and pastry flour and salt. Making pastry is tricky only in as much as you want to combine the fat with the flour. And to do that, you can slide it over your fingers and smashing the fat and mixing it into the flour. And it's a really tactile process. It feels kind of silky and wonderful. Takes a while, so you have to be patient.
I can remember being a kid in our pie kitchen, making dough with my mom and eating about half of what we were making.
Oh, come on. I wouldn't let you get away with that.
Every now and then I still sneak a piece of raw dough. It brings me back. My parents started a fish market on Whidbey Island, just down the street from the largest loganberry farm in the world. I don't know who else was growing loganberries, but we were in Green Bank and we needed a dessert to go with our dinner service. And so my mom went down there and picked some loganberries and threw them into some pie crust, following just what was it?
Well, it would take me all night to make pies. I'd get up and once the kids were in bed, I'd make pies throughout the evening.
From the Joy of Cooking recipe, right?
Yeah, Joy of Cooking.
Yeah, with Crisco way back in the 80s.
Crisco,
yeah,
my God.
Yeah. And then, we sold those as our dessert to our dinner service, and they were just flying out the door.
We couldn't keep up with it. I began to resent the customers. Oh no, they want more pies.
I grew up in that restaurant. There's pictures of me washing dishes at about 6 years old. And then by the time I was about 10, we had transitioned to just doing wholesale pies. And I'd be in there helping my mom, trying to earn some money before I'd go to soccer practice.
Soccer cleats, yeah.
My whole life she'd been saying, this can all be yours one day, or I'm gonna go face down in a pie.
I always figured I would.
And I never wanted it. It wasn't until I was almost approaching 30 that I realized it was a pretty good gig. So here we are 10 years in. So once you get your flour and your fats mixed in together, and you have a nice little crumble going on, you can start adding your extra cold water, your ice water.
Ice water is good. And you want to have the consistency should be kind of like maybe like cornmeal, like little nodules of the fat. And then we do 6 to 8 tablespoons of ice water. And I generally do about 7, because that seems to be adequate. 7 tablespoons. And then you're going to want to lift it and just gently, never want to overwork pie dough. That's one of the other secrets, is that just be really gentle and don't hurry, just lift it and let all the liquid mix up with the flour and the fat. The dough is ready to separate into in half. It's nicely, you don't want to overwork it. I have to emphasize that. It can be kind of crumbly, and now we're going to separate it in half, one for the bottom of the pie and one for the top. and put it on our scale. And let's see, that comes to 10 ounces, almost 11 ounces. Pretty darn close. I'm going to go with that. One is 10 ounces and 0.79, and the other is 10 ounces, 0.86.
Still got it.
So there we go, ready to roll. Get them ready to roll. Form them into nice little rolls like that, and wrap it up in a piece of parchment. One down, and another. Not too much handling, keep it kind of loose. And when you roll it, it tightens up. And now I'm going to put these in the fridge. They need to be cool for at least a half hour.
The next step for preparing your fruit is to score the peaches and then blanch them. Now, you don't have to do this step, but it does affect the texture. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to score the top with a little X. And we're going to have to do this in batches. So we'll take these and we're going to pop them into the boiling water just for a second. Once you blanch your peaches, just very quickly in some boiling water and then directly to an ice bath. It makes the skin very easy to peel off. Sometimes if the peaches are ripe enough, you can just peel off the skin, but these guys needed a blanching. Careful, they get extra hard to handle without their skin on them. Now we're just gonna quarter these up so we can remove them from the pit. And then we'll be able to put on our spice and sugar. Okay. And once you quarter them like that, you can just basically pull the pit right out. Once your peaches are skinned and diced, you want them to be about 1/4 inch thick. We have equal parts brown sugar and granulated sugar and a 2-to-1 nutmeg to cinnamon spice blend. And then we're using cornstarch today for our thickener. And I'm not going to put the full thing in just because these are really juicy peaches. You want to gently mix your fruit. You don't want to bruise it. But you want to make sure that they all get a nice coating of sugar and spice. Now you have peach pie filling. Lastly, you're going to want to add a little bit of lemon juice just to brighten up those peaches. So we want about 1/3 of an ounce. So I'm just going to squeeze 1/2 of this. And I think that's probably good. We don't want to do too much or it will counteract the cornstarch.
Now that the filling is ready, the peaches are all looking juicy and wonderful. So now it's time to roll out the dough, which is nicely chilled after it's spending some time in the fridge. I like to push it down. And first we'll put a little coating of flour on the, I like to use a parchment paper because it's easily turned. So we'll coat the sides with flour and we'll flour our trusty rolling pin. Begin the process. So it takes some muscle to get it started. And then it's nice to be able to shore it up along the edges where it's starting to break. That helps you to keep it intact. Shore it up a little bit like that. Just pinch it in again. And then if it's, you can turn your parchment paper. It really works conveniently like that. Just want to get a nice circle of dough. We're going to coat the offset spatula, nice long spatula that will fit under, and just kind of easily push it under, loosen it from the parchment, And then this is a little tricky, but you get the hang of it after a while. And you just flip it over onto the pie dish. Et voila. So it's ready to go. Too much there. There we are. It's a nice edge to keep in all the juices. So now we will make the top layer. We're going to make a lattice top on this. So it's going to be, instead of a circular, it's going to be rectangular. So we can get all the pieces of the lattice out. And again, we'll give it a thumbprint. It's a little thick. Shouldn't be quite that thick. There we go. All right. That should do it. You want to make sure that the longest lattices will fit across the pies. So I think we'll do the longest lattice first. There we are. So that should do it. And then again, use your offset spatula to loosen everything up. A lattice cutter makes a really nice finish on your pie. It makes a real professional finish. Or you can just use a paring knife too. I've often done that. The lattice cutter rolls along nicely and makes a nice cut. These are about 1 inch wide. 1 inch though makes a nice lattice. Now it's time to put the peaches in the pie before we put on the lattice. They look so good and gorgeous color, beautiful. There we go. Okay, maybe a little bit more. I want it nice and full, but not so full that it runs over. That looks about right. How about that? Now it's time to do the lattice. It's nice and loosened up. So we'll start off by doing an X right across the top. There we are. And now we do another one here. And another one here. And then this is where you start weaving. And you lift up the one beneath and just, there we go, nice weave. And then here's another one on this side. One thing about crimping is it's a very personal touch, and each pie has the imprint of the person who made it. I use my 2 fingers and my finger, but everybody has their own technique, and it doesn't have to be perfect.
Now that my mother has expertly lattice topped this pie, we are going to make a little egg wash. And you can even use heavy cream for this. We use heavy cream in our facilities just to take away the allergen of egg. So 1 tablespoon of water to 1 egg. And get it nice and frothy. And you can press the lattice. Not too much, or it'll really kind of cook egg on top of your pie, but you want just enough so that it'll brown. Once you have a good covering, you can take a large grain crystal sugar. This is optional, of course, but we like to do it at Whidbey Pies just because it's a nice finish. And once you get a good covering of Demerara or turbinado sugar, that'll crisp up really nicely in the oven.
And that's how we make our famous and fabulous Whidbey Pies.